This is going to be a quick unboxing and look at Sony HDR CX405 camcorder. So we'll take a look at the outside of the box. Show you what's inside. Here's the contents of the box. So we have the camcorder, which is actually exceptionally light. So that's the camcorder. And we have the requisite manuals in various languages. We have a USB cable, which is actually the charging cable. And then a small battery, a little power brick, and HDMI cable. So it's the small HDMI to the regular HDMI. So an HDMI cable is included with it. So taking a closer look at the camcorder, there's actually a wired in USB cable. This is kind of hard to do with one hand, but that's just it's a little storage place for it. It actually plugs into the other USB cable, and that's actually ends up functioning as the power cord, which is pretty slick considering that you can just plug it into any USB power source. It wouldn't have to be the Sony power brick that came with it. You could simply plug it in and recharge it. So on top we have the zoom. You can actually take photos with it. Even while you're recording, you can press the button and take photos. It is a 1080p, and it's a 60 times zoom. So it's optical steady shot. We have the lens cover on the front, which is actually kind of neat. That's built in. Let's see if I can flip it. Yeah, see there, so you can see it opening and closing, which that's pretty slick because it's built right into the camera. And on the bottom we have a port for the tripod, screw port. So this is the battery compartment. You can see down in there. So it's simply it's attached, and then that just simply closes, and then that forms the bottom of the camera. So on the very back we have the start stop button. That's to start recording and stop recording. And then that's the thing with it open. And of course this style of camcorder, once the battery's installed and charged up, as soon as you open the door, it automatically comes on. And so I'm going to charge the battery up. My intention is to include some video shot with the camcorder so you can take a look at the quality of it, and then I'll come back with my final thoughts. Once the unit is charging, there is a light that comes on. So I'm recording this with everything in the automatic mode. I'm not really sure about the white balance. It may be just a little bit off. I'm just going to kind of walk around a little bit. We'll look into some dark rooms. So the room is actually fairly dark. Now in the viewfinder, it's actually looking a lot lighter than what the room actually is. With me physically looking at it, we're looking at this room here, and this room is actually very dark, but it is kind of showing up in the viewfinder okay. So we'll just continue to walk around. This room is also quite dark, as well as this one, although there is a little bit more light in here. So, but I'll continue to walk around. This is with everything kind of fully automatic, and it looks like the optical stabilization is on by default. So I have the camera screwed into a small tripod, and I'm simply walking around. Now we're getting obviously a strong backlight situation, as I walk around. Of course, I'm in the house. It's dark outside, otherwise I'd do this outside. But I think this will give you an idea of what the camera is like, just, you know, completely on automatic settings. So as I walk around, the image actually does look fairly stable. So the stabilization is actually quite good. Because normally, when in the past, when I've walked around with a normal camcorder, even with stabilization on, it seemed like that it was the video would end up being a lot more jerky. So this is actually fairly decent. So right here I'm zoomed all the way in. I'm trying to hold this as steady as possible. And so I'm going to zoom out, and that will give you an idea of how far the zoom range can go. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with this little camcorder, especially for the price. I paid $229 at my local Best Buy store. I am aware that you can probably get it for around $200 if you order it off of Amazon, and I think occasionally Best Buy will actually also drop the price down to around $200. But even at $229, this is a nice machine. Now obviously it does lack certain features. There's no microphone input or headphone output, so that could be a problem. You know, if you need those features. But generally speaking, the thing is very light. It could easily fit into a pocket. It doesn't take up much space. Now I did have a problem. When I bought the camcorder, I also bought a 64 gigabyte micro SD card, and for some reason the camera, you know, when I put it in there, the camera would pop up a message telling me that the media was incompatible. So I don't know if it didn't like that particular SD card, or maybe it was too big. I don't know. So I found a smaller one, an old one that I had, and it recognized that one right away. So I'm going to have to do a little research and find out why, you know, what is the maximum size for an SD card, because the videos that I've watched on YouTube kind of say, one of them said, well, it was 64, and another said, well, you could do a 128. So it may be neither, I don't know. This is a nice little camera. I like the image stabilization. You know, it's akin to having one of the little motorized things that you see people use all the time when they're vlogging. The image stabilization on this is exceptionally good. I could probably get better results if I were to manually set the white balance, but I just wanted to make a quick and dirty video using the completely, you know, the default settings, which mostly they're set to automatic, it seems to be. So in any case, I like the camera. I like how it performs, and it seems to do exceptionally well, particularly on 1080p video.